Hi everyone, I'm TheTrueYako. A few days ago I took part in the second episode of the second season of the Jordude's Shadowverse King of the Hill tournament. My first round was against Crimson Fencer's Noire and the stream was from my point of view, so I thought it would be a fun experience to go back and give commentary on games, explaining all my decisions and thought processes along the way. I think most people can get something out of this video to improve their gameplay. I know I certainly did while prepping for this, so I had to think hard about my decisions and whether they really were the right ones or not. The format of this tournament was last hero standing best of 5 with 1 ban. For those of you unfamiliar with this format, this means that each player brought 4 decks from 4 different crafts to the tournament. Deck lists were public, and each player banned one of their opponent's decks before the round started, then picked one of their own remaining 3 decks to play the first game with. Winner keeps the same deck, loser has to change, and can't play a deck that was lost already. When a player has no decks remaining, they lose. The decks I decided to bring were the following. All my decks were net decks. I brought Shadow Midrange, built by Frerin. I brought Dragonstorm Ramp, that won GCJ 22, but I had one less Israfil because I didn't have enough vials to make it, and one extra Ouroboros to compensate. I brought Sword Midrange that finished in the top 4 of GCG 23, and I had a Blood Suicide aggro deck. I forget the source, probably from one of the GCGs or the NGE tournaments. Noire's decks were Shadow Midrange, Forest Roach, One Turn Kill, Sword Midrange, and Ruined Area Tempo. I brought the decks I did for the following reasons. I think you'd be crazy not to play Shadow or Dragon. Shadow's really strong right now, so is Dragon. They both have great matchups against most of the other decks. You have to pick 4 crafts anyways, so why pick one of the weaker crafts when you can pick the 2 strongest crafts in the game right now? I think probably in the history of the game, if I'm not mistaken. For my Dragon deck, I felt it needed to have Lightning Blast. Lightning Blast helps a lot against the Shadow matchup. You need as many board clears as possible, and you need a way to deal with Prince of Catacombs if he gets played late game on a big board. That does both. It also gets rid of Ektar pretty well. Ektar has a big body. Sometimes in game, if you don't have Bahamut, he's harder to deal with if you don't have any more evolves. So Lightning Blast fills that role very well. I brought Sword because Sword is good against non-Shadow aggro decks, and it's also good against 4 controllers decks like Haven. I don't like playing against Haven, but I'm really comfortable playing Sword because it's the deck I used to get to Masters back in February. Back in March. So yeah, I feel comfortable with the deck. I like it. Albert is my favorite card in the game. I like playing aggro decks, so that's why I brought Sword. And similar reason, I like playing aggro decks, so I brought Blood Suicide aggro. That was not a good decision. In hindsight, I would still bring a Blood deck, I believe, but not a version that doesn't hurt itself as much because it has a terrible matchup against Shadow. And I really needed a deck that could win against Shadow more reliably. If I didn't take Blood, I would probably have taken Forest, White Wolf, Silverbolt deck. I didn't have enough vials to make the deck. Or if I decided that Shadow was too much of an issue, I would build a deck just to beat Shadow. It would probably be a Haven deck. They have some good countdown amulets that banish a lot of followers. So I would make the deck just to beat Shadow, and I would only use it against Shadow. And once it beat Shadow, it would lost and it would lose, and then I would switch decks, and that would be it. And I mean, maybe it would draw a ban. Who knows? So for the first round, by the way, the deck lists are going to be in the comments to the video. In the video description, sorry. So if you're interested in the deck lists were public. You got to see your opponent's deck list, so it helped for decision making. So yeah, you can look at the deck list if you want. For the first round against Noire, I banned Shadow and he banned my Shadow. I don't know why he banned my Shadow, but I know that I banned his because Shadow is too strong. I'm not interested in playing a Shadow versus Shadow mirror match. Sorry. I feel comfortable in all my other matchups. I went in expecting him to ban my Shadow deck. I figured my Dragoncraft had positive matchups against all of his decks. Swordcraft had a positive matchup against Forestcraft and Runecraft, I believe. and I believe Bloodcraft had a positive matchup against Swordcraft. So overall, I have a lot of positive matchups. I figured if I played Dragon first, I had a positive matchup no matter what, and if Dragon lost, I still had positive matchups. So I felt really comfortable in that decision. Um, so I'm gonna start the video feed now, and I'm gonna pause at each of my turns and explain my decision. And I think this is the simplest way to go through. Um, so game one is starting here. My game plan going into the game is that I know he's a one-turn kill deck. I don't want to take any chip damage. I want to get to late game being as healthy as possible. I want to be at 20 life if I can, and I have enough late game cards that I should be able to win no problem. So this is an easy mulligan. I'm gonna draw Dragon Oracle and two Sybils. I don't need Sybil. It's a turn 5 play. I'll draw more mid to late game cards. I want early game cards in my hand, and I want ramp. So I get Bahamut, which isn't great, but I get Grimnir, which is a good card to have. He'll prevent some of the chip damage. I'm going second this game. I think I go second all 3 games, if I'm not mistaken. So at turn 1, there won't be much to do. At turn 2, I will play Dragon Oracle because he has nothing on the board at that point. I'm just going to wait for the game to catch up. So here. Turn 2, he has no board, so I'm going to play Dragon Oracle just to ramp up. Had he played Fairy Circle and gotten a fairy, or played like a May out of nowhere or something, I might have played Unica. It's gonna be hard to deal with an ancient elf early, but I definitely think that Dragon Oracle is still better, even if he plays a follower here. So on his turn, he's gonna play Goblin Mage. So I think that makes my turn 3 pretty easy. My only real options at this point are to play Unica and hope that then he'll trade, uh, or play Grimnir or Rahab, and then I can trade positively. So I want to keep Unica for later when I can protect her in case he does manage to get some damage before turn 7 in, and then she can hopefully heal it up. I think Rahab is a really strong play here. At 2-5, he's not getting killed by anything in the next 2 turns. Like, he would have to trade his Goblin Mage, probably play Sylvan Justice, and then play a May to kill my Rahab. Um, so I feel pretty confident that Rahab is the best play here. Grimnir is too easy for him to kill. He can just run the Mage into it and then play May or play Sylvan Justice. So on his turn, I believe here he plays another Goblin Mage, if I'm not mistaken. So chances are that he might have a strong turn 7 or a strong turn 8. It's very important when you play against this deck to know just how much damage they could do. So right now, because he might only have roaches, there's no real point in calculating. It becomes more interesting if he plays Athena along the way, or not Athena, but an Elven Princess Mage, and then he has some free followers that he can play, and that boosts his damage on turns 7 and 8 by a lot. Turns 7 and 8 are the turns to watch out for. I played a lot of Roach one turn kill back in February when it was strong before the nerfs, and so I have a lot of experience playing with the deck, and turns 7 and 8 are the key turns for that deck, where it can output a lot of damage. So he plays the second Goblin Mage. What I want to do at this point is just minimize the damage that I'm going to take. I want to avoid taking damage if at all possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to clear the board here. I think that's the right thing to do. I want to keep Zal for later because he allows me to clear 2 followers sometimes. And at this point, it doesn't look like I'm gonna need Unica anytime soon. I have Unica, I have Fervor, I have another Grimir, I have Breath of the Salamander. I don't think I'm gonna be taking damage. Uh, I don't think I'm gonna be taking more than 3 damage before turn 7 or turn 8, and Fervor is gonna be able to deal with that. So playing Unica here, I think, is good. It allows me to evolve, clear the board. It lets me keep Rahab, that's 5-3, and Unica will be 4-2. Um, it doesn't play around Will of the Forest, but I don't think there's a way to play against around the Will of the Forest here. It doesn't play against Fina. Fina would survive with 1 hit point, but she's not doing any damage, and I don't really have a way of playing around Fina here. Um, so I'd rather just throw away Unica and do that, and clear his board. Uh, I'll be able to deal with whatever he plays anyways, so it's not a big problem. I still have Grimir in hand, so I still have a lot of ways of limiting the damage that he's going to do. So he plays Will of the Forest, which is fine. I have Fervor, so it's going to give me a chance to play Fervor right here and draw 2 cards, because my hand has a lot of late game cards, but in the mid game I'm not really doing anything here. So I'm glad for this free opportunity to play Fervor. There's nothing else I'd rather play in this turn anyways. Like playing Grimir here and Zell is kind of a waste. It's turn 6, he's not going to combo off here. So if I play Grimir, I give him a free turn to just kill Grimir before he would try to combo off. So I drew Grimir and another Zell, which is not great. I mean, I'm happy to draw Grimir. I'm not too thrilled about Zell. I only have 2 evolution points left. Zell might get one if he's lucky. So he plays Elven Princess Mage, and now the math starts getting a bit more interesting. I'm just gonna, I'll let it go until my turn, and then pause it so you can see what I draw. He also plays May, because he had 9 cards in his hands, so he plays May because he wants to actually draw his card. May's probably the worst card in his hand, so I draw a Genesis Dragon. So my late game is just getting better and better. But I don't have any pressure right now, which is fine. It's not up to me to have pressure. I'm the control deck in this matchup. And my goal is just to get to 10 play points so I could start playing big cards that he won't be able to answer consistently. So the math for Roach in this situation, when turn 7 comes up, is that he has 2 0-cost fairies. So this means that with 7 play points, he could play 2 Roaches and have an Nature's Guidance and essentially play a 3rd Roach, which would let him do, it would be Fairy, Fairy, Roach for 3, Bounce the Roach, Roach for 5, Roach for 6, which lets him do 14, if I'm not mistaken, 3, 5, 6. Yeah, 3, 5, 6 plus the Evo, that'll see you do 16. Yeah. 0, 0, 3, 5, 6 is 11, 14, 16 with the Evo. And then on turn 8, he could do a bit more depending. He could do 4, 6, 7 plus the Evo, which is 19. He could just go Fairy, Fairy, Roach, Nature's Guidance. Nature's Guidance for 3, 5, 7, which is 17. So the important thing to know is that there's a possibility that he could do 19 on turn 8. So you really want to minimize the damage that you take here. So what I'm gonna do this turn, sorry, pause again. This turn is, my hand is really good once I hit turn 10. So my turn 8 won't be great, my turn 9 probably won't be great either with what I have in my hand. I have Breath of the Salamander. I have a lot of board clear come turn 10. So if I'm going to play Breath of the Salamander and get value out of it, it's either going to be this turn or on turn 9. And looking on the board, it clears this board right now. And I don't really have another way of dealing with the evolved Elven Princess Mage. So I'm not going to get any more value out of Breath of the Salamander than I will playing it on this turn. Um, so I definitely think it's the right thing to do here. And then I'm going to play a Zell because I don't think that Zell will be useful at all anywhere else this game. Um, and it's just putting something on the board for him to deal with. It's also like he has to deal with Zell if I put him on the board because he doesn't know that I don't have a 9 drop. If he doesn't deal with Zell, he has the potential of of eating an Ouroboros to the face for 8 and then just losing the game the turn after. So if I play the Zell, he has to deal with it. So it slows him down a bit. It costs him. Worst case scenario, he deals with it with Sylvan Justice. Best case scenario, he actually evolves something to deal with it. So that's why I'm going to play the Zell here. So now I have one difficult turn ahead of me. Um, I don't really have a good turn 9. I could always play Zell on turn 9 and Grimnir, and evolve Zell to do something with Grimnir. It depends on what he's going to do. He only has 7 play points. He has 9 cards, but like I said, he can't kill me with the combo. So he chooses to Sylvan Justice as Zell, which is fine. I don't mind if he has a fairy. He's playing it now because he's at too many cards again. So I don't know what he's holding on, but the fact that he's playing those low cost minions probably signifies that he's not gonna one turn combo me. Um, because if he was going to, he would probably need at least one of those. So I guess he could have another May. Uh, could be that he got one from one of the Goblin Mages. But I'm happy with him playing this. So I draw my card for the turn. It's Lucifer. I think Lucifer is a pretty easy play here. There's no point in playing Grimnir because I have 20 life and he won't be able to kill me. And if he doesn't have the combo yet, I'm just giving him a turn to kill Grimnir for free. Ideally, you want to play Grimnir on the turn where your opponent is going to combo off, so that it delays them for one turn. If my opponent isn't going to combo off and kill me next turn, and I play Grimnir, it's not delaying him. Whichever cards that he would play to try to get his combo online to kill me, he can still play anyways and get rid of Grimnir while playing them. So you really want to time it to block the combo. Um, so I'm glad I drew Lucifer. I think Lucifer is the only play here. Um, Now, the casters were surprised, I think, that I evolved Lucifer, because I'm going to evolve Lucifer and kill the fairy. The reason is I don't want to take any damage. I'm aware that 19 damage combo can happen because he has an evolve left, so I don't want to drop the 19. The combo only takes 3 slots on his board, so if I leave the fairy there, he could kill me next turn. I really don't want to take a chance. Like I have a really dominant, a really strong hand. I don't have to take the risk of dying, so I'm gonna clear it. And the other benefit is that at 9/7, Lucifer is hard for him to take care of. He pretty much has to play Crystalia Lily, I believe. Um, so it puts him in a tough spot, and it also deals 4 damage to him, which means that if he can't handle Lucifer this turn, there's a very real possibility that I could kill him next turn. Remember, he's seen my deck list. He knows I have Genesis Dragon. He probably thinks I have a Zal in my hand because I kind of threw one away the turn before. Um, so there's a chance that I follow up this Lucifer with a Genesis Dragon or with Zell and Ouroboros and sorry, I win the game. So he has to deal with Lucifer. Now the advantage of Lucifer over Grimnir before is that the cards which help him draw his combo do not take care of Lucifer. So he can't take care of Lucifer and advance his hand towards the combo. Um, so here he kills Lucifer, takes him 2 cards, and it's another 1 cost card. So his combo is getting slightly weaker. are harder to pull off. Um, Now at this point, I think he's played like three cards that the Goblin Mages could have gone to pull. He's played Lily, he's played two Maze, um, and then he's played the Fairy from Sylvan Justice. So I don't know what his hand is, but his hand, I mean, it's probably not too combo oriented. But since it's the only way that I envision myself losing the game, I'm still gonna play around it because why take the risk? Um, so on this board, there's not very many options. Basically, because I still don't want to take any damage because I'm playing around the combo, I either have to play Bahamut, Grimnir, or the Lightning Blast I just drew. And of those three, obviously Grimnir is the most efficient, I think. It gives me a ward to protect against the combo, and it deals 4 damage. Um, so I think that's another pretty straightforward turn. It drops him down to 12. So again, he has to kill Grimnir, which shouldn't be too difficult. This is one of the reasons why I played the Zell before, because all my cards in my hand cost 10 right now. When I play Lightning Blast, it's probably going to be for 10. So there's just never going to be a real opportunity to play Zell. The only way I was going to play Zell is if I drew Ouroboros. There's only 3 in the deck. And usually there should only be 2. So Zell just wasn't going to get much use this game. I mean, I could also draw Sahag Kill, I guess, and do a 13 damage Bahamut, but I'm not too concerned about that. I forget what he does here. I think he plays another. I think he plays another Lily, if I'm not mistaken. I think he plays a Lily and he nature. Oh, I think he. No, what was it? I think it's Lily and he bounces Lily back with Ancient Elf. I believe. Yeah. So again, I think another easy turn from my point of view. I'm gonna draw a second Lightning Blast. Yeah. So again, it's basically the same thing as last turn. I have the same options. I want to get rid of the elf. I don't want to take damage. So I'm just going to play Grimnir, clear his board, deal 5 damage. And if he wants to play Lily again to get rid of my Grimnir this time, if he doesn't have a ward behind it, he's just going to straight out lose the game to Genesis Dragon. Because now he's down to 7. I don't even need my evolve to kill him with Genesis Dragon. So he has a decent turn here. He kills Grimnir, and then he hits face, right? I think he evolves, hits face, and drops me down to 14. So now I only really have 2 options. I don't think playing Genesis Dragon is going to be an option. Just wait for the game to actually catch up. So there, he hits face. So I don't think Genesis Dragon is much of an option because it leaves him with a ward on the table. I'll save all the snowman to just trade, but it's not great. I mean, I have Lightning Blast that I could play here, or I could play Bahamut. Um, Lightning Blast is okay, except the 1 damage that the snowman is going to deal is completely inconsequential. So since that's the case, I might as well just play Bahamut and have an actual threat on the table. Um, Unfortunately, I don't have any way to stop the combo. If he has the 1 turn kill combo here, he just wins the game. Uh, but he's played a lot of 1 cost followers, and he played 2 Lilies, I believe, and 2 Maze. So odds are that the cards that he actually got was Goblin Mages. have been played. Um, so I'm pretty sure I'm in a good spot here. And then once this turn takes more than like 10 seconds, uh, obviously he doesn't have the combo. Unless he's slow rolling me, which would be a dick thing to do. Uh, you shouldn't ever slow roll. It's just rude. If you have the win, just go take it. Save everyone's time. Everyone has better things to do than just sitting there and getting slow rolled. And the person who's doing the slow rolling also has better things to do than slow rolling someone. If you have the win, you should just take it right away. So he's taking a lot of time to think. I don't know what his options are, but what he's gonna end up doing is playing Jungle Warden again and hitting me in the face for 8, dropping me down to 6, and dropping the 2-0 cost fairies. What he's trying to do is load up the board so I can't kill followers and have him go to the face. Um, I mean, it's not a bad idea because I think those fairies are going to be consequential. If he has a Roach, he'll still win, but anyways, it doesn't matter. I have Lightning Blast, I just win the game right there. Um, the reason I think those fairies don't really matter is because I'm at 6 life. He still has. Oh no, he doesn't have an Evo anymore. The fairies actually do matter then. Never mind. I understand why he played them. I'm not sure there's a situation where they actually change anything. If maybe if I no, if I Ouroboros and Zell, I actually kill 3 followers, and bam, it still goes through. So, is there another situation? Yeah, I guess it stops Zell and another follower from letting bam go through. Yeah, yeah, I guess that works. So I guess it made sense for him to play the 2 fairies. So that's it for game 1. I think from my point of view, the game was fairly straightforward. I didn't have too many hard decisions or anything. I'm just gonna try to skip forward to the start of the next game. The next game, he is playing Sword Midrange. I don't have much of a plan for this matchup. I just want to stay out of Enhanced Albert range. And yeah, Enhanced Albert range with an evolution. So I basically want to stay at more than 10 health. Uh, he has 3 Tsubakis. I have a ton of targets for Tsubakis. If I evolve and I get Tsubaki, that's part of life. I'm not gonna try to actively play around Tsubaki for the most part because whenever he draws it, he's gonna have a target. So it's not something that I have to worry about. It's not like if I was also playing Sword Midrange and then I should never evolve Albert or the 3-2 from Alwidas because they're the only targets in the deck for for Tsubaki. I have like I think it's not counting evolutions. I have 9 targets in the deck for Tsubaki. She's gonna hit something. So again, my starting hand, I would like early game cards. I have Rahab and 2 Sibyls. Rahab is okay. Rahab would be okay to keep if I had a ramp card in my hand, like preferably Dragon Oracle. Then I could play him on turn 3. If I had Ayla, I would probably send Rahab back to keep Ayla. But now I have nothing. I need early game cards. I'm gonna maul everything. And I actually get a worse starting hand than I had. Um, my hand is terrible here. I got no early game things. He has no Quick Blader, which is good. Uh, I'd have to check his deck list. Yeah, he definitely plays Quick Bladers. Never mind. And then I have no turn 2, but he had no turn 2 either, which is really abnormal. But I'll take it because my hand was just brutal in this game. So he plays Grimnir, and I don't even have a 3-drop. So like, had he curved out, I would be like dead already, I believe. Um, so he doesn't have a great turn 4 either. I guess he drew Veteran Lancer on turn 3 and Veteran Lancer on turn 4. Um, and then here I go and I play my turn 4. I have two options. I have Rahab or Zell that can both be evolved. Obviously, I only have one real option, and that's Rahab. There's no point in playing Zell here. They both do the same thing, plus Rahab will save me more damage. Um, Hopefully he doesn't have his one of Dance of Death or Albert here. Albert would hurt a lot, I think. He would stay alive as a 5/3 and push through 4 damage. But lucky me, he's not gonna have Albert here. I found out later through the Discord chat that Noire's mulligan gave him Grimnir times 3. So he did not have a great hand either. So RNG saved me a little here, because although we both had terrible hands, I definitely get the advantage off of that because terrible hands lead to longer games and my deck has the long game advantage. So here, Noire does something that's a bit weird. I'm not sure I agree with, but I mean, I don't have access to his hand, so I don't know. What he does is he plays Gino and the Quick Blader, and he trades both of them into Rahab to kill Rahab. He's like really trying to hold on to his evos for some reason. Had he evoed Gino, he would be left with a 6/1 and the Quick Blader. And on turn 5, there's really not much I can do to kill Gino here. I would have to play Breath of the Salamander to kill just Gino. I mean, obviously Breath would be huge on turn 6 on a 1/1 6/1 2/2 2/2 board. So I would have to use it one turn early just to kill Gino. And short of that, there is no way for me to take out Gino there. So I don't know why he held on to his Evo. I think like that was a huge difference. I would have taken. Well, I wind up taking the same amount of damage this turn. Actually, I don't, because he's gonna end up using his Evo on the Veteran Lancer, which is even weirder. I think if you're not gonna Evo Gino there, then you shouldn't Evo anyone. So yeah. So instead of having a 1/1 6/1 2/2 2/2 board, he ends up with a 2/2 4/4 board. And I can actually do something about a board like that. I could play my second Rahab and take out the 4/4 Veteran Lancer, and then he gets left with our Rahab facing off a 2/2. So I still play Rahab here. I'm gonna take out the 4/4 Lancer. I had an alternative line here that wasn't so bad. I could have played Zell and Grimnir, evolved Grimnir to take out the 4/4 and be left with a 2/2 and a 2/1. That wouldn't be so terrible. I mean, it's not as good as having Rahab. The downside with having Rahab is that he'll go up to 5 attack and die at Tsubaki. Tsubaki on Gurv would be not great. I mean, it wouldn't be great. I'd go down to 10 health, and then I would have to play Sybil and go up to 13, kill the Lancer, and then who knows what would happen. So I forget what he's gonna do here. Obviously, he doesn't have Tsubaki, because I think he would have played it if he had it. I think he plays 2 Grimnirs here. Yeah, he plays the 2 Grimnirs. So now he's not gonna attack because he's really trying to hold on to this evil point. At this point, it really looks like he has. Once he ends his turn and then he doesn't use his Evo, it really seems like he has an Albert in hand that he wants to save for turn 9. Um, Again, I'm not sure. Not sure I agree here. So here, it seems like I get really lucky and draw Breath of the Salamander. At the time, I thought I was really lucky too, but when I went back and watched the video, there's two options here. You could play Breath of the Salamander, clear the board, and be left with a 5-1. Or you could play Sybil, go up to 15 life, and be left with a 6-5 and a 5-1. A 6-5 and a 5-1 and 15 life. Um, so I think both options are really good. Um, I I mean, I think Breath of the Salamander is slightly better, but not by much. And the reason I think it's slightly better is because my opponent only has 2 cards left in their hands. If I play Sybil and bring him down to 1 follower, uh, chances are pretty high that Breath of the Salamander will become a dead card in my hand. It's going to lose most of its value. It might end up trading 1 for 1 at best, or maybe 1 for 2 at best. It's certainly not going to retain the same amount of value as playing it here will. So when I played the actual tournament, I was pretty excited to draw Breath of the Salamander. I don't think I considered my options that much. Uh, I think it's slightly better than Sybil. I don't think it's that much better. And I still think I would have been fine here had I not drawn it. So I'm going to play it and be left with a 5-1, and he's going to have no board left. So since I'm at 12 life, and he's starting turn 7, I still have 2 turns before Albert comes out. So I'm feeling pretty good. So here he plays Quickblader, Floral Fencer, and chooses not to evolve the Floral Fencer again. It really looks like he has Albert. So I draw Unica. This is another turn which is fairly straightforward. I have Ouroboros for next turn. I don't have a turn 9. Right? So I'm not really in a rush to play Sybil. Sybil, I can either play Sybil. I have 2 options really. I have Sahakil is not an option. There's no point in playing her just to get rid of this 3-4. The 2 options are to play Draconic Fervor and Unica, or Sybil and Unica. I think it's a really easy Sybil into Unica here, because I'll go up to 15 life. And there's no way with 1 card in hand and 1 Evo that he's going to be taking out both Sybil and Unica. So playing both guarantees that I'll heal for more after this turn. And since he only has 1 card in his hand, and we're reaching the late game, and that 1 card is Albert, most likely, I think I'm in a really good spot here. I have a Gribnir to soak up, Albert for a turn. Even if I take 10 damage, probably going to be like in the neighborhood of, 15 to 18 health when my next turn ends. So Albert won't be able to finish me off, and if Albert doesn't finish me off, I can just Bahamut him away, or Sahakil and attack into him with Bahamut, and it shouldn't be a problem. I'm surprised I thought about this turn for that long. I was probably thinking about whether to Draconic Fervor or Sybil, but there's really no reason to Draconic Fervor here. Sybil is much better. Also, for the remainder of the game, because I have Sahakil and Bahamut and Grimnir in 2 turns, I won't be needing Evos to clear followers anymore. So there's no downside to using my Evo here. So Here he plays all he does. Still doesn't want to Evo, I think. So he's gonna hit me for 3. He's gonna hit me for 3, but I'm gonna gain 2, so really he's gonna hit me for 1. Um, so now again, no evolve. This is like definitely Albert, 100%. There's no other card it could be. If it's something else, then he's just playing really terrible, and there's no way, there's no way he would be on the team and be that bad. So it must be Albert, unless he's trying to trick me and represent Albert. But at this point, I mean, Albert is the best card he could have, and it's not tricking me. My turn doesn't really matter here. I just play Orbros. I was gonna clear his Viking with Sybil, uh, just because I'm gonna gain another 3 life and go up to 17. I mean, I just want to keep the board clear, and I'll win next turn anyways. So that's it for game 2. So now in the last game, will be against Rune Daria Tempo. Just a bit more about this game first while I look for the Daria game. Oh, it's starting already. I think I got pretty lucky to win. I got lucky that he had a lousy starting hand, because my starting hand was really bad. So yeah, but I did play well with the cards that I did have. Sometimes you have to make your own luck, right? So here, my game plan against Daria Tempo is again just make it to late game. Dragon just always wants to make it to late game. Dragon is so strong late game. Once it gets to late game, it's hard for it to lose. So it just wants to get to late game as healthy as possible, and that's it. Um, Daria is a deck that puts all their followers on the board, and if they get wiped, that's pretty much it unless they have another Daria. So I have a lot of ways to wipe the board. I can handle multiple Darias. So here I think I'm going to keep Ayala. Yeah, send the other 2 back. Again, I want early game cards. Ayala's fairly early. Now, funny story here is that I was feeding my 7-week-old daughter while I was playing. She was on my lap, and she threw up on me this game. So as I had a couple of turns where I was running back and forth between the washroom and the computer to play and clean her up and stuff. Thankfully, she didn't puke on herself, but she got the back of my shirt and the chair. So I was having a hectic time playing this game. So the turn 2 here is pretty easy. It's either Unica or Zell. I'm not sure which is better. With the hand I have now, it doesn't really matter because I don't actually have a target for Zell. You know, it's hard to tell. I would probably play Unica here if I was paying attention, but I don't think I was paying attention, because what I'm going to do is play Dragon Oracle. Dragon Oracle is terrible to play here. First of all, I have nothing to ramp into here. I have a bunch of low cost cards. I have Draconic Fervor, which is not going to help me if I ramp into it, because by that time Daria is going to have a board, and taking a turn off to gain 3 life and draw 2 cards is not good enough. So ramping into Ezreal, which costs 9 play points, is not good. I have to play Unica and force him to trade. That's why Unica has been better than Zell, because she forces your opponent to trade. That would be much better. So he has like an awesome turn 3. He played turn 1 Insight, turn 2 Conjure Golem, turn 3 double Insight, Angelic Snipe, and Emilu. So he's played 5 spells already. If he had Daria in his starting hand, she costs 4. Of course, I don't know all of this because I'm running to the bathroom. I got no clue what's going on. I just come back to this board and it's the middle of my turn. So, had I played properly, Emily would be the only creature, the only follower on the board. If Unico is still there, I mean, I would be at 19 life instead of 17, and I would just trade into the golem, and otherwise he would turn the golem into Unica. I'd still be at 19 life either way, and Emily would be on the board. So, Emily being the only follower on the board, my turn would be pretty easy. My apologies. As I was saying, my turn would be pretty easy. I would play Grimnir because there's no point in playing Ayla. I still have nothing to wrap into. Unfortunately, I screwed this turn up again. And I'm gonna play Ayla here. Again, Ayla is bad. First of all, if he wants to kill, like, he's just gonna ignore her. I'm gonna take more damage. And then, when she finally does die next turn, again, I'm ramping up into nothing. Ezreal is 9 play points. Next turn I will have 5, and then I will ramp up to 7. And then, like, she's, at best, she's 2 turns away from being played. In 2 turns I will be dead if I don't deal with this board. So, Grimnir was definitely the right play. So, he actually has a turn 4 Daria, and lucky for me, doesn't draw any Ooglers or Amelius. Now, I don't know what else he could have drawn. I forget his deck lists. I don't have it in front of me right now. Let me just pull it out. I don't think he has Fate's Hand, but I could be wrong. Just check. Yeah, no Fate's Hand. So I don't know what he drew with Daria. I just know that there's no Oglers and no Emulus. So now my turn. So again, had I played Grimnir before, I would be at 17 health here, I believe, and he would only have Daria on the board had I played Unica into Grimnir, assuming he plays everything the same again. But if he doesn't, that's less pressure. So yeah, so now I'm not in a good spot. I mean, I have to Grimnir and Zal here. Just to clear the board. Ayla will, I can't deal with Daria right now, so I'm just gonna ignore her. Ayla will take care of one of the 2/2s. Zal will evolve, take care of the other one, and I'll keep Grimnir as a 2/3. The reason why I have to evolve Zal and not Grimnir is because if Grimnir becomes 4/5 and kills someone, he drops down to 4/3. I mean, there's no difference between 4/3 and 2/3. He's still gonna get killed for Dario to go through. Actually, yeah, what I'm saying doesn't make much sense. It's probably better to evolve Grimnir and get left with a 4/3. And then Zell might be able to give someone Storm next turn. Like Unica, since I still have her in my hand for some reason. So yeah, I'm gonna end up evolving Zell because I'm bad, and I thought it would give Grimnir Storm. But it's actually better that it didn't, because I want Grimnir to have 3 health anyways. So yeah, it's important to note that Draconic Fervor is not an option here. If I Draconic Fervor, I have to evolve Ayla. I'll go up to 16 health. I'll clear one follower from the board, but I'll take 7 and drop to 9 before he plays any cards. And next turn I'll have 6 play points, and I won't be able to deal with anything. So I'll still won't give someone Storm, so it's just gonna be terrible. So we get the first turn post Daria, and unfortunately for Noire, his Daria like completely bricked. It's like he didn't draw any Blade Mages. He drew like a bunch of magic missiles and I don't know what, like Piercing Rune for 4 or something. So yeah, definitely not a good turn for Noire here. You could tell just by the amount of time it's taking him to play his turn. Like any follower would be good here. Any follower would be good just to take out Grimnir, and then I don't have much of a choice to trade with with Daria, I think. So yeah, as you can see, Magic Missile into Evolving Daria into Piercing Rune to kill Grimnir. Um, and now I'm down to 4, which is not a lot. Um, so I have no choice here. I have to kill Daria. I don't have many ways to do it. I'm gonna have to Draconic Fervor, get my health back up to 7, play Unica, evolve her, and trade my board into Daria. I have no choice, there's nothing else I could do. Those are the only 2 cards I could play. Draconic Fervor first in case I get a Noire 2-drop maybe. But I mean it's either Unica or Zal. I think I would keep Zal anyways. To maybe do shenanigans with Lucifer on turn 10, or maybe if I drew Sakiel, so whatever. So as you can see again, he must have like really bricked hard on Daria. To be clear, I do not deserve to win this game. I played turns 2 and 3, which are really important, really bad, and he bricked hard off of Daria. So I think if you had like normal RNG, there's no way I win this game. Well, as it stands, because he has a 2-2 and a 2-3, and I have 9 play points, playing Israfel is really easy here. It clears his board. She gets left at 10-8, and I go up to 9 life. Short of Mutagenic Bolt, he's not getting rid of Israfel either, and if he plays Mutagenic Bolt, I don't really care. I have Lucifer to go up to 13 health, and Mutagenic Bolt is basically him skipping his turn, right? He'll go down to 16 or whatever from the Mutagenic Bolt pinging him for 1, and the Rat hitting him for 1, and I'll go up to 12 because I'll take 1 from Mutagenic Bolt. And Lucifer is going to be really hard for him to deal with. So, from my point of view, the rest of the game is pretty simple. Next turn is going to be Lucifer, pretty much no matter what he does. And after that is going to be Grimnir, pretty much no matter what he does. And the game will be over after that. So he does have Mutagenic Bolts. I draw a second Lucifer. Here I make a small mistake. I'm going to play Lucifer before playing Dragon Oracle. You always want to draw. Like, it's guaranteed I'm going to play Dragon Oracle this turn. Like, I'm not playing Grimnir, I'm not playing Bahamut. So I should play it before playing Lucifer. In this case, it doesn't really matter because no matter what I draw off of it, I'm still going to play Lucifer. Because he's the strongest card in my deck right now to draw, and anyways, I have both copies in my hand. And then here the game's pretty much over, yeah. That's it, he concedes because there's not much he can do against Lucifer. I'm just going to gain health, and even if he manages to kill it, for sure I have something to wipe his board. So that's it for the commentary. I think for the most part I played pretty well, except for those 2 turns at the beginning of the 3rd game. I think Noire definitely got the short end of the RNG stick. I think he did well, considering what he had. I think he should have won the 2nd game if he evolved Geno. I think that was a pretty big mistake. Again, I can't see what he has in his hands, but I think he attached too much value to saving an evolve for Albert, and that caused him to not evolve Geno. I'm not sure. I'd be interested in knowing what his hand was in that spot and what his reasoning for not evolving Geno was. Uh, but without knowing that, I feel like that was a mistake. Of course, I see what I had in my hands, and I know I had no way of dealing with 6-1 Geno that turn. But again, I don't think short of I think the only card that deals with him in that spot is Breath of the Salamander, and if I use it on Geno instead of on wiping the board the following turn, it's terrible. So yeah, so so that's it. I think, like I said, the decisions were good for the most part. The games went well from my point of view. Uh, yeah. So I just wanted to say a big thank you to Jordude for doing the series, and for him and Mofu uh, for 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 casting it. And it was a lot of fun to be part of it. Um, for those of you that didn't watch the whole thing or didn't know, I won the next round 3-0, and then I played against Deviate for the King. Deviate was subbing for Onion Sheep, I believe, and I won my first game against Deviate, and then his Shadow deck came into play because in the finals there was no bans, and I couldn't do anything against the Shadow deck. Uh, he swept me 4 games to none with the Shadow deck, and that was that. I think if I could have gone through the Shadow deck, uh, that I definitely had a shot at it. Uh, but yeah, I didn't. I wish I would have had the games from my point of view to go over those games. I know that I had a really big misclick in my last game with my Suicide Blood deck, but it wouldn't have mattered because I was going to lose that game anyways, I think. Um, but I would have liked to go over the Shadow versus Shadow game. I guess I could still look at my replays and go over it. It was getting late. I don't really remember much of those games. I just know that I won the first one with Sword against. I don't even remember which deck. I think it was against Forest, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyways, the whole series was fun. I hope to take part of it again. To take part in it again someday. Um, for now, I played in the first two NG tournaments. I lost in the second round both times. I didn't play the third one because I had to take care of my kids. I'm probably gonna play the fourth one. I'm looking to get into streaming eventually. I think next month is the season with the rewards for being in the top 100 and top 1,000. I'm gonna shoot for 10,000 for a top 1,000. I definitely think I can make it in. I don't think I have enough time to play games to make it into the top 100. But if time wasn't an issue, then I would aim for that. But considering that time is an issue, I think top 1,000 is a reasonable goal. I'm just gonna play a lot of Shadow mid range. Have a personality where I don't mind playing the same deck over and over and over. That's how I got to master so quick. I got to master in 581 games, I believe. 581 wins. I don't think very many people got there in less than 600. And for like 400 of those wins, I played uh, mid-range sword when it was really strong, and for 125 of those wins, I played Roach 1TK when I was really strong. So I'm just gonna spam Shadow, win a lot of games, and hopefully make top 1,000. So please, if I stream, please come along for the ride. I'll be happy to have you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. You can message me on Reddit. My username is the same, TheTrueYako, or you can comment on the YouTube video, no problem. I'll get back to everyone. I love answering comments. It's really fun and I like it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you learned a thing or two. If you didn't, then great. We'll see you in Masters soon, and have a good day.